supporting the Alaska Baseball League. Enjoy being a fan of Alaska League Baseball, and remember to show your respect to our players, our coaches, and our umpires. Now, prepare to enjoy the game. Here's the lineup for the visiting Chinooks. Number 10, and batting in first position, playing center field from the Masters University, Will Batts. Batting in second position, wearing number 20, playing second base from Stephen E. Austin University, Cal Campbell. Batting third, wearing number 12, playing left field from Northwest Nazarene University, Hayden Keller. Batting fourth, wearing number 8, playing first base from Gardner-Webb University, Joe Brazil. Batting fifth, wearing number 25, playing right field from Tarleton State University, Colby Ferris. Batting sixth, wearing number 7, playing third base from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, Tate Fullerton. Batting seventh, wearing number 22, the designated hitter from the University of Northern Colorado, Johnny Graham. Batting in the 8th position, wearing number 55, catcher tonight from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, Joe Keel. And batting in the 9th position, wearing number 5, playing shortstop from Northern Illinois University, Patty McDermott. And the starting pitcher for the visiting Chinooks, wearing number 11, from MSU Denver, Zach Sudine. And now, to introduce your hometown Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Batting in the first position, wearing number 16, playing right field, from Middle Tennessee State, a senior, Cole Escher. Batting in the second position, wearing number 12, playing third base, a sophomore from UC Irvine, Connor McGuire. Batting in the third position, wearing number 5, playing left field, a sophomore from New Mexico State, Ethan Mann. Batting in the fourth position, wearing number 23, a junior from Louisiana Lafayette, the designated hitter, Nick Hagedorn. Batting in the fifth position, wearing number 3, the catcher this evening, a freshman from Loyola Marymount, Grant Weiss. Batting in the sixth position, wearing number 4, playing second base, sophomore from Fresno State, Blake Wink. Batting in the seventh position, playing first base, wearing number 25, freshman Terrence Seguida from Brazilian Community College. Batting in the 8th position, wearing number 8, playing shortstop, sophomore from Oregon State, Devin Lopez. And batting in the 9th position, wearing number 2, playing center field, freshman from Loyola Marymount, Devin Ornelas. The starting pitcher for the Pilots tonight, wearing number 33, sophomore from Pepperdine, Nate Diamond. And now the military personnel in the stands could please stand and be recognized as the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard presents the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you all please rise, and gentlemen and players, please remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, sung by Megan DeVries. Let's play ball. All baseball in tonight's game are sponsored by the Anchorage Central River Council. Throwing out the ball for tonight's first pitch is Brigadier General Tony Stratton. Transplanted from Montana in the late 60s, Brigadier General Tony Stratton is a lifelong Alaskan. Married to Lorena, they've lived in the communities of Goddard, Barrow, Fairbanks, Anchorage, and raised their daughters in Palmer. He has served in the Alaska Air National Guard for over 33 years, the majority in the 176 wing, home of the Arctic Guardians, as a propulsion system technician.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mulcahy Stadium here in downtown Anchorage, Alaska, for today's matchup between your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So before we get things started today, I would like to take just a few moments to... Actually, you know what? Before that, we're gonna watch the first pitch. I didn't realize there'd be a first pitch today, so we're gonna hang on for that here. All right, and there you go. Certainly a great first pitch there. So, anyways, I'd like to take a moment now to go over the defense and lineup for the Pilots today. So, Cole Escher will once again lead things off. He's playing right field. The second baseman, Connor McGuire, will be batting second. Ethan Mann in left field today, batting third. Nick Hagedorn, the designated hitter, will be batting fourth. Grant Weiss, the catcher, will be batting fifth. Blake Wink at, hang on. I have two second basemen here, so maybe I'm going to guess that Connor McGuire is probably the third baseman, and I accidentally wrote the... Yes, that is correct. So Connor McGuire is at third base today and batting second, and Blake Wink is batting sixth and playing second. So there you go. All right, Taryn Seguida, the first baseman, batting seventh. Devin Lopez at shortstop, batting eighth, and Devin Ornelas. So back-to-back Devins. He will be playing center field and batting ninth. Pitching for the Pilots today will be the big lefty Nate Diamond. We have seen him a couple of times before, and he pitched well against the Chinooks the last time these two, or he squared off with the Chinooks. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. So great to see so many of you already on the stream. And once again, just thank you so much. I am Tyler Lopes, and I am joined today by my partner, Aaron Davis. Aaron, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's another beautiful day for some baseball.
Absolutely, absolutely. So once again, we'll go over the Chinook defense and lineup, similar to what we did yesterday in the bottom half of this inning. But for now, Will Batts will step up to the plate. And the first pitch of the ball game is in there for a called strike one. You'll notice, as this game goes along, that John Mark Mullen's not playing today. He gets a day off. And Patty McCormick will be at shortstop today, as that one is tapped over first base line and foul. So Coach Groth giving guys a little bit of rest that he might not normally rest. So certainly a good day for that, as the Chinooks are a couple days away from embarking on a big trip to Kenai to play a 5-game series against the Oilers. Well, certainly the more you can rest guys during that stretch, the better, and that one is just outside. So Will Batts able to stay alive, and the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, Tyler, and like you were talking about, this this stretch of road games here is really, I think, going to be the turning point in our season here. We either could make a push for first place, or if we play poorly, we could fall down to third or fourth even. And so this is going to be key for this final stretch of the season here.
Absolutely, and good at-bats like what Will's having here is certainly a huge part of that. So after falling down 0-2, he's worked the count full here on Nate Diamond. And the 3-2 is in there for a called strike three. So Will Batts goes down looking, but at least able to make Diamond throw a good amount of pitches here to open up the ball game, and that'll be the first out, as Cal Campbell, the second baseman, will bat second in this one, as Cal certainly earning this spot in the lineup, as he has had a few really good games in a row here. So certainly the coaches noticing and giving him an opportunity to bat higher in the lineup, and also good opportunity, as I said earlier, to give one of the long-tenured Chinooks here a little bit of rest today. And that one is in there for a called strike, too. So once again, Campbell down 0-2. So Diamond doing a good job of getting ahead so far. And the 0-2 to Campbell swung on and tapped over to third, as McGuire will fire on to first for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Chinooks, and that'll bring up Hayden Keller, who's in left field today, as he was yesterday. Actually, never mind. He was not in left field yesterday. He was the DH. So out there today. And that one just misses for ball one. And the 1-0 is tapped foul, so the count moves to 1-1. And that one is swung on and missed. Looked like it was pretty high pitch, so my guess is Diamond's fastball's really got a bit of lift to it today. And the count moves to 1-2 on Hayden Keller. And that one is just outside. Not a bad pitch from Diamond, but Keller able to lay off. So the count now moves to an even 2-2. And that one is fought off and hit down the left field line and foul. And that one's upstairs. So once again, the count has moved full. So at the very least, Chinooks are making Diamond throw a decent amount of pitches here. And the 3-2 is also fouled off. So Keller putting up a pretty good at-bat here, trying to stay alive.
Yeah, the Chinooks don't have anything to show for it yet, but they've put together a few good at-bats, and as the game progresses, that'll definitely pay off for them, as they'll be able to see some more pitches and time them up.
Absolutely, and that one is tapped back to Diamond on the mound. He'll throw on to first for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 inning go the Chinooks, and so they will head to the bottom of the first inning, still with the score at 0-0. All right, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as we're going to take a couple of seconds and go over the defense and lineup for the Chinooks today. So Will Batts in center field will be batting first. Cal Campbell slides up to the 2 spot. He's playing second. Hayden Keller, the left fielder, will be batting third. Joe Brazil at first base today as Josh Scheck gets a rest. So Joe will be batting fourth. Colby Ferris in right field batting fifth. Pate Fullerton back at third base. He'll be batting sixth. John Graham back in the lineup. He's the DH and batting seventh as the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Joe Keel behind the plate batting eighth. And Patty McCormick at shortstop batting ninth. And pitching for the Chinooks, pretty much I would say it's pretty safe to say he's the ace of the Chinooks so far this year in Zach Sundine. Today. And also, Josh Scheck will get the day off today. Had a day off since he has been healthy, so certainly a well-deserved rest for both those guys. So Cole Escher gets on with a base hit, and that will bring up the third baseman, Connor McGuire, and that pitch is outside for ball 1. And that one is in there for a called strike. So Sundine certainly familiar with these pilots, as he has faced them a good amount of times already this year. As I believe this is the 4th or 5th for Zach Sundine against the pilots already. And as a pitcher, I have been in situations where either in high school or in college, probably more specifically college, as I was mostly a reliever in college. So I would come in multiple times a week, at least at the peak. So I know what it's like to have to face a team, 5 or 6 times in a pretty short span. And at a certain point, it really doesn't matter how well you're throwing or executing. A team has just seen you so many times in such a short amount of time that you know, they can pretty much adjust to whatever you have. They've seen pretty much everything you have. So we'll see if that has any effect on Zach Sundine in this outing today. So the count sits at 2-2 to Connor McGuire as Sundine looks to put him away on this 2-2 pitch. That one is way outside for ball 3. So the Chinooks have rocked a 4-man rotation for the last couple of weeks as they've had a good amount of days off, but not anymore as they're going to have a lot of games in a short amount of time. And on a hit and run, Cal Campbell just could not stop himself from the momentum there. And so that will head into right or center field for a base hit. So Cole Escher will head to third, and right away the Pilots have it going here in the first off Zach Sundine. Otherwise, probably would have been a ground ball right to Cal Campbell, but with the runner moving, had to go over and cover the bag, and it just could not stop his momentum and get back to the ball. So an unfortunate situation for the Chinooks, as that'll bring up Ethan Mann, who's one of the best hitters in the league so far this year. And the first pitch to him is tapped over to Pate Fullerton at third, and he will fire on to first for out number 1. Probably a smart move there to just take the one out, as it would have been pretty difficult to turn 2 there, as Connor McGuire was pretty much flying down the line.
Yeah, that was a great play from Fullerton there at third, and obviously this isn't the start you wanted if you're the Chinooks, but we've seen from them all year that they've been able to work out of jams like this, and that's really been one of the themes for their pitching staff so far this year. So.
Absolutely, and no guy has taken more of those opportunities to get out of jams than Zach Sundine. I mean, we were there at Herman Brothers Stadium against the Miners where he got pretty much found every way under the sun to get out of jams, including a triple play.
Absolutely.
So Zach is pretty good at that. So we'll see if he can use a little bit of magic here as Hagedorn swings, fouls that one off to the left. So the count quickly to him moves to 0-2. And you know Sundine would love to get him on strikes here to take away the RBI ground out and the sac fly possibility for the Pilots, and that one is outside for ball 1. And Joe Keel's going to go out and talk to Sundine. Maybe he got crossed up there a little bit. Maybe just going over some more signs, although it doesn't look like it was more signs. It looks like maybe there was some miscommunication there.
Yeah, it looked like they were laughing about something. Couldn't tell quite what, but they were laughing about something.
So the 1-2 to Hagedorn. Curveball in there for a called strike 3. And Hagedorn not happy with that call, and he gives the umpire a little bit of an earful. And the umpire either talking back or maybe explaining his reasoning. But either way, Hagedorn goes down looking, and just as it has been prophesied, that is a huge out for the Chinooks, as now that takes away the RBI ground out and the sac fly possibility. So Sundine 1 out away from getting out of this jam, and that one is hit down the right field line and out of play for strike 1. And the 0-1. Swung on and popped high in the air, but out of play behind home plate. Sundine now 1 strike away from, once again, getting out of an early jam here, as he has pretty much done all year long with just a few exceptions. And the 0-2. In there for a called strike 3. Dominance late in this inning from Zach Sundine, and after 2 singles to open up this inning, the Pilots come up empty as Zach Sundine slams the door on that scoring opportunity. And so the Chinooks will head to the top of the second, still tied 0-0.
Sun out, it's a nice day to enjoy the Pilot's Patio Beer Garden, sponsored by Brown Jug. Community-minded and locally owned, these stores are filled with all of your favorite beers. Brown Jug. Leading off for the Chinooks at the top of the second inning, number 8, first baseman from Gardner-Webb University, Joe Brazil.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Joe Brazil will grab a bat and lead off for the Chinooks. And I feel like I've said that quite a lot the last few games, as even though we got a day off yesterday, the day before, I believe he led off 3 straight times at the plate as he taps that one over to short, and they'll fire on to first for the first out of the inning. So, once again, a quick out for Nate Diamond as he has looked pretty good so far in this one. 4 up, 4 down so far for him as Colby Ferris steps in. And the first pitch to Ferris is upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, and this really seems to be a theme for the Chinooks offense. Kind of like their pitching.
So you know he did not go there.
Yeah, the first base said safe. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but for their offense, it seems to be a theme where early in the ball game they have a lot of great at bats, but don't really get anything going, and then later on in the game they're finally able to break through and have a real offensive explosion. And,
yeah, and you definitely, it can get frustrating as an offense to not start games out as well as you finish them. But honestly, I'd rather finish games well than start them, because if you get up 5-0 but you can't score for the rest of the game, you have a chance of the other team coming back. But if you put yourself in a spot where, by the 4th inning, for the rest of the game you're hitting pretty well, you could definitely put yourself in position to win a lot of ball games. Now, granted, you don't want to wait until the 7th every time, as that one is popped high in the air, and Grant Weiss will call everybody off, and he's going to have to move forward, and wow, I guess that ball took off on him as he could not get there. So a second chance for Colby Ferris here. And let me tell you, folks, those pop-ups are not nearly as easy as it looks. Those balls have a lot of backspin on them. They move. The wind can get to them, and there's not much wind today, but just a little bit. But still, enough wind to affect that one as Colby Ferris draws a walk. So after Wise could not haul in that pop-up, Colby Ferris draws a walk. So good job from Ferris to take advantage of the second chance he was given as the Chinooks get their first base runner of the game. And that will bring up Pate Fullerton who's starting at third for his second straight game. And that one's in there for a called strike. So for those of you who are only in it for the interviews, I do have one lined up for you, as Justin Estrada will once again join us in the studio. And that will be in the third inning of today's ball game. I've been trying to get some of the guys that have not interviewed yet to come up here and join us, but they have not yet obliged. And obviously, you know, that's all right, because I do understand that this is not everybody's cup of tea. Coming on here, putting a headset on and talking to a bunch of people that they don't know, even though they can't see you guys at home, it still can get frightening, as that one is swung on and missed for out number 2. So Fullerton goes down swinging, and that'll bring up John Graham, who is back in the lineup after getting a breather yesterday. Graham has certainly struggled at the plate as of late, and in his last ball game, he went 0 for 6 with a hat trick. So certainly he'll look to bounce back here and get his bat going, because the Chinooks are certainly going to need it as this season winds down and playoffs will begin within the next few weeks. So certainly we'll look forward to that. But anyways, you know, and interviewing is not everybody's cup of tea. It's not everybody's slice of pie. So I can understand that, as Ferris will take off for second, and a wild throw from Weiss, but I think Ferris probably would have been there anyway. So that will go down as a stolen base for Colby Ferris. So now John Graham has a chance to drive in a run, give the Chinooks an early lead here with 2 outs, as Grant Weiss will go and talk to Nate Diamond here. And looked like Colby was pretty much going on first move, which is a strategy against lefty. Obviously, you never know if when a lefty lifts up his leg, if he's going to pick off or go to the plate. So sometimes you just have to go first move and hope he doesn't throw over. And put your head down and not stop running, even if they do pick off to first. And just hope for the best. That time, obviously, he did not go over to first, and Colby was able to swipe the bag, as John Graham will swing and miss at that one, as the count moves to 2-1. And the 2-1 to Graham is swung on and missed, as Graham's bat goes flying out of his hands. And they're going to give him a little bit of pine tar, as everybody in the Chinook dugout kind of ran out of the way of that one, not wanting to get beamed in the head with a baseball bat.
And that's not the first time we've seen that this weekend, although it is the first time for the Chinooks that we've seen it this weekend.
Absolutely. The Pilots had a rough time yesterday with bats flying out of their hands, or perhaps that was a couple days ago, and that would have been the Miners. I think it might have been the Miners, actually, now that I talk it out. So the Miners had a little bit of issues with pine tar, and the 2-2 to Graham is swung on and missed. So Graham goes down on strikes to end the inning, so nothing comes of the 1-out walk for the Chinooks, and we'll head to the bottom of the second with the game still tied at 0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Zach Sundine will head to the mound for his second inning of work as he'll face off against Blake Wink, who squares around a bunt. Well, it pulls back as that ball was inside for ball one. And that one is also inside, so clearly we can see Zach Sundine's strategy is to throw inside to Wink, but he's missed the plate both times. So we'll see if he goes right after him here. And he does. Good pitch there from Sundine. Wink swings and misses at that one for strike one. So Aaron, when you were a pitcher, was it more difficult to go inside on a batter, or were you a guy that was really, really confident and able to spot up in there quite well?
I'd say because I certainly wasn't a power pitch, I wasn't blowing it by anyone. Mm-hmm. I was more of a finesse and trying to hit my spots and stuff. So I would say I was able to hit my spots pretty well, but it seemed like it varied between right-handed and left-handed batters. Mm-hmm. Where I think right-handed I was able to throw inside pretty well, but then when I tried to do it against lefties, just the angles and the difference of it would almost get away from me sometimes a little bit. So I had to be careful with it. Not that I couldn't do it, but
yeah, definitely. And for even just aerodynamic purposes, as that one is tapped over to Pate Fullerton, who moves over to field that one, and a great play from Pate Fullerton as he fires on to first for the first out of the inning. So Blake Wink is retired as Taran Seguida, back in the lineup after getting the day off yesterday, will step up to the plate against Zach Sundine. So anyways, most of the time, as a pitcher, you have arm side run unless you're throwing cutters. So for a guy, when you're a right-handed batter, as that one is ripped into center field, but right to Will Batts for out number 2. Again, generally, you have arm side run, which for those of you at home that have never heard that term, basically means that if you are a right-handed pitcher, when you release the ball, generally speaking, you will have the ball will kind of move toward your arm side. So if you're a righty, the ball will move a little bit to the right in terms of just the movement. And if you're a lefty, I'm sure you guys have heard the term lefty tail. Theirs is a little bit more pronounced, but it will move over toward the left side for them. So as a righty facing right-handed batters, it's a little easier to throw inside, at least in my opinion, because your ball is going to probably move that way anyway. So if you miss inside to a righty, chances are you're probably going to miss a little bit more inside, as that one is ripped to Colby Ferris as he fires on to first, but way too late to get Devin Lopez. So that'll be a 2-out single for Devin Lopez, as Devin Ornelas will step up to the plate now. But anyways, so the ball is probably going to move a little bit more inside to a righty, so there's a better chance that you're going to kind of jam them or just get weak contact. But if you miss to a lefty, that ball is actually going to move a little bit more out over the plate. So you have a better chance of really getting some damage done against you for a lefty throwing inside for sure. So I completely agree with you there.
Absolutely. And when I pitched, I not exclusively, but I threw a lot of two-seams, so it exaggerated that even more so.
Absolutely, as that one's in there for a called strike. So definitely that is one of the reasons why you want platoon advantage, because the ball will generally move over the plate to whatever the opposite side of the batter is. So if you're a righty facing a lefty, as I said, your ball's going to move more over the plate for them. Which is what made Mariano Rivera's career so special, is because he actually was better against pitching against lefties, because his cutter was so pronounced that it would just move in up on their hands, which is essentially the same thing for a lefty as what a left-handed run would be. And obviously we know that left-handed batters stereotypically have a much harder time facing left-handed pitchers. So that's essentially what Mariano did. And that one is tapped over to Pate Fullerton, and he fires on to first again for out number 3. So nothing comes of the 2-out single from Devin Lopez, as the Chinooks will head to the top of the 3rd inning, still tied with the Pilots 0-0.
Lady Pilots would like to extend a special thanks to our summer parents this summer who are hosting Anchorage Lady Pilots players. We have Tim Arlington, the Armstrong family, Robert and Amy Hernandez, Robert and Amy Boson, the Wilkinson family, the Helton family, Carolyn Jones, the McCart family. If you are interested in hosting our Lady Pilots players, please call our office at 274-3627. That's 274-3627. Or send an email to glacierpilotshousing@gmail.com. glacierpilotshousing@gmail.com. Leading off for the Chinooks at the top of the 3rd inning, number 55, the catcher from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, Joe Keel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as Joe Keel will lead things off for the Chinooks here in this inning. But I am joined by a special guest, as Justin Estrada is getting situated here, and he will join us here in the studio. Justin, it's good to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you much in the last few days. You've been so busy playing.
Yeah.
We haven't had any home games. You're not in my van. I feel like I haven't seen you in like a week. How you doing, brother?
Good. Just staying alive.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's pretty much what everybody's feeling right now. It's been a long few days. Certainly, you guys had some early games. Do you like early games more than night games, or are you more of a night game kind of guy?
I sort of got used to the schedule of night games, so I was preferring night games. But the nice part about day games, especially playing out here in Alaska, is you're able to try to do something after the game. So
Oh, certainly.
one day I was able to go on a hike after the game, so that was a nice.
There you
change
go.
of pace.
I hopefully it wasn't that long of a hike.
Oh no, we keep them short.
There you go. And that one's upstairs. So Justin, again, thank you for joining us. So you have you've been up here quite a bit, which is obviously an awesome thing. I'm very, very thankful, as you've really helped us fill some airtime and give us some nice creativity. So is this something that you really thought that you would be comfortable with coming into the year? Obviously, you probably weren't coming to Alaska going, "Ooh, I get to do interviews." But as time has gone on, has it been something that you actually have enjoyed and have gotten comfortable with, or is it just kind of, hey, I'm free, let me see if I can go kind of do that?
So coming into the year, I had no idea I was gonna have this opportunity, but yeah, once you offered the opportunity to any of us to interview, I just said, oh yeah, why not? I mean, get some people to know some more about me. Why not? Any publicity is good publicity. So I like being able to hang out with you too. I mean, that's a plus.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
We
that.
don't always get to see you all the time, so when I'm hanging out with the guys, I like to say hi to you and Aaron as much as I can, and keep involved with you guys and see how you guys are doing.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, and it's obviously awesome for us, because I'm just going to be honest with all you folks at home. I don't think I've said this on stream, but it does kind of get a little bit repetitive at times. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, as there's a lot of you that have listened from day one, probably have heard me say the same phrases, probably heard me say the same things over and over. So it's really nice to come up here and have different people in, as there's always different dynamics, always different things to talk about, and it's never the same. No two interviews have ever been the same. Even the ones that you have done, they weren't the same from the first one to the second one. So certainly it's a privilege, for us as well. So you guys are performing pretty well over the last week or so. You're winners of 4 straight. You snapped the Pilots' winning streak last night in a huge 10th inning burst. 2 games in a row, you guys have performed so well in extra innings. Did those victories feel a little bit cathartic for you guys?
It was a big morale boost for us, just knowing we're right in this part of the season where it starts to feel repetitive and you're starting to get tired. So just to be able to get some good team wins. Both those were really good team wins. There wasn't really one guy that shined bright, but there was some different guys in both games had big moments for us. So it was awesome team wins. So that's really boosting morale, and I think we have a lot more energy coming in today's game, especially because we were able to get a little later start time today as opposed to the 11 a.m. ones.
Absolutely. So that pitch is upstairs as Patty McCormick draws a walk. Second walk issued by Nate Diamond, although the Chinooks still are without a hit so far, so Will Batts will look to change that. As he steps up to the plate for his second at-bat, he struck out in his first at-bat. So, yeah, definitely those games were a lot of fun, both to watch and to call here on the stream. I don't know if you had a chance to go and listen to the half inning from last night where you guys scored 4 runs in the top of the 10th, but it was definitely one of my favorite moments since being up here. Certainly just an amazing inning, and I think a lot of it just had to do with the craziness and some guys that really haven't had huge offensive impacts up to this point in the year coming through, and the whole stoppage with the mound and all that in between. Like, it just kind of had a little bit of everything. It was certainly one of my favorite moments. Did it kind of feel? And anyway, the point is that it really felt unique up here. I hadn't really seen kind of a situation play out like that. Did it feel that way for you guys down there, or was it just kind of another moment for you?
No, it was awesome to see, like you were saying, some guys step up in these big moments. Maybe they haven't had moments like that up here at least yet. So it was awesome to see some guys come up in those big moments, and we're always happy for any guy that does it. So we were happy to embrace them, and they were just happy to be in the moment. So it was a great game.
Absolutely. And speaking of guys that hadn't had a huge impact, as that one is tapped over to Sagita at first as he looks to move over to, hang on. I think Will Batts is saying that hit off of his foot. And it looks like the umpire is going to ask for help to see if that hit off of Will Batts' foot. Certainly, I can't tell from up here if that hit his foot or not. It's pretty much impossible from our line of sight. So we will see what the call is. If not, that will be a ground out for Will Batts, as Patty would move over to second. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but certainly I know Will Batts would want to continue his at-bat, but he will not get that chance as they call him out. So 2 outs here in the top of the third. And that will bring up Cal Campbell, and that's the guy I was about to ask you about. So Cal Campbell hadn't had a lot of moments at the plate, and the last 3 ball games has really come through for you guys. Has gotten a lot of hits, certainly some big hits yesterday and big hits a couple days ago. How awesome has it been to watch him as he rips that one into left field? That will be right to, I believe, Ethan Mann in left field for out number 3. So anyways, what's it been like to see him come through more often than not over the last couple of days?
Yeah, just super happy for him. I was talking to him the other day after his last good game out there, and I was just saying, dude, you look so comfortable there. He's like, yeah, I'm hitting the ball really well. So I was like, just so happy for you, man. Just keep it up. Obviously, do what you're doing. So I was just touching base with him. I like to touch base with all the guys as much as I can. So
there you go. All right. Well, we will be right back as we head to the bottom of the third inning with the score still knotted up at 0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Cole Escher steps up for his second at-bat of the day against Zach Sundine. He singled in his first at-bat, so he'll look to, I'm sure, repeat that effort here. But Zach Sundine has looked pretty good so far. Got out of a jam in the first and worked around a 2-out single in the second. So Sundine has pitched about to where everybody expects, as that one has flown out to right field as Colby Ferris comes on to make the catch for out number 1. So I'm still joined by Justin Estrada, who pitched very, very well a couple of days ago for the Chinooks. Certainly gave them everything that he had and put them in position to win the ball game, as he pretty much has done all season long. Justin, thank you so much for joining us again here in the studio.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, Justin, I've asked a few guys this, but I don't think I've asked you yet. What started the journey of pitching for you?
Yeah, so I don't know why, but one day I was just like, Dad, I want to pitch. I want to learn how to pitch, because we were coming to that age where people were starting to become pitchers. But my friends were pitchers and I wasn't at the time. So I was like, Dad, I want to learn how to pitch. So my dad was on board with that idea. So he took me to a pitching coach, and I literally learned pitching from the ground up. I remember counting the steps in Zach.
And that one's tapped back to the mound, and Zach Sundine stays with it, and he'll fire on to first for out number 2. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
Justin. So I remember just learning I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throw. I was like, every little thing I was just focusing on so much, because I was just learning how to pitch, so I had no idea like how to pitch. So we broke it down into like numbers, that basic, how we were learning how to pitch, and then from there, that's sort of what developed my mechanics. Now I haven't really changed them since I was little for the most part. So I mean, I've tried to stay consistent. That way, I'm able to repeat them as much as I can. Because as you know, as a pitcher, that's what you try to do up there. You don't want to do something different every time, because you don't know where the ball is going to go. So
man, it's amazing. You haven't changed your mechanics really since you were a kid. Dude,
yeah.
My mechanics are like Star Wars. They got prequels and sequels and reboots and remakes and fan fictions. They have been all over the place. So that's really, really awesome that you've been able to stay the course for that long, man.
Absolutely, yeah. And then whenever I'm getting off track, my dad's really good at telling me what I'm doing wrong. He'll break down the videos of the games. He'll try to zoom in as much as he can, slow it down, and say, "Oh, you're off in this. This tweak is something you can work on in your next start." So it gives me a lot of stuff to work on in my bullpens too. And in my bullpens, I try to focus on either I know who we're gonna play next, who I'm gonna be pitching against. So if they have a lot of lefties, I'm gonna work on my changeup, or just how to game plan against lefties. Or if they have a lot of power guys like the Oilers, I'm gonna focus more on my off speed, or maybe trying to jam them inside. So
Gotcha.
yeah, me and my dad, he helps me a lot trying to game plan for the other team and just staying sound mechanically.
And that one is ripped into left field, and Hayden Keller will back up and make the catch on the warning track. Good play from Hayden Keller. Certainly not an easy one, but he made it look easy. So Justin, I don't know what your schedule is, but if I have to let you go, I will. But otherwise, would you like to hang around for another half an inning or so?
Yeah, I'll stay another.
Wonderful.
Another
So
round.
we will be right back in the top of the 4th inning with a little more from Justin Estrada, as the Chinooks and Pilots locked in a good pitcher's duel so far, as the score sits at 0-0.
The National Highway Safety Officer reminded you that when your speed increases on the road, so does the chance for a crash. But with your schedule ahead of everybody else's safety, stop speeding before it stops you. This message brought to you by the National Highway Safety Office.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as the first pitch of the inning from Nate Diamond is in there for a called strike to Hayden Keller, who grounded out to the pitcher, in his first at-bat, as that one is just outside. So I'm still joined by Justin Estrada. Again, Justin, thank you for joining us here today. So kind of a follow-up to what you were talking about in the last half of the inning. Talked a lot about your dad, how much he has helped you. So does your dad have a huge background in pitching, or is that kind of something that he was learning along with you?
Yeah, so he didn't really play baseball too much growing up. He had other things going on. So once I started like devoting more time to baseball, he devoted time to learning everything he could about baseball and pitching and just anything I wanted to do within the sport. He would help me. So I'd see him at home and he'd watch YouTube videos of how to best hitting drills, best pitching drills, and then say, okay, yeah, we need to do that later. Then okay, we're gonna do that in the backyard. Or he'd hit he'd feed me and I'd hit into the net at home. And so he learned with me as I was learning. He'd watch YouTube videos and just learn that way.
That one is ripped, but right to Blake Wink, who looks like he was shifted a little bit as he's playing a little bit deeper than traditionally a second baseman would, but nonetheless it works out as Hayden Keller will line out to open the inning. Anyways, Justin, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so he sort of did the new school approach of learning everything on YouTube, but he did that with baseball, and then as he ended up coaching me when I was younger, so he's able to learn from the other coaches that I had in addition to him. So he's been learning the game since he's been an adult, but yeah, it's awesome how dedicated he is to helping me.
Well, that sounds like it. So, if nobody in your immediate family kind of prompted you to pitch, was it just completely on your own that you kind of just saw guys pitching, thought that would be fun, and figured that you might want to do it, or was there somebody that actually inspired you to get on the mound?
No, I was pretty much on my own. Nobody was pushing me to pitch. I mean, I was playing baseball as it was, so I mean, it's pitching seems like fun, and now that I'm only pitching, it's the greatest thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
You gotta be part of every play, and when you're in the game, obviously. So
absolutely,
it's cool.
As that one is swung on and missed. So Joe Brazil goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and I'll tell you, Nate Diamond has looked really good over the first 3 2/3 innings. No hits and just 2 walks. So certainly the Chinooks are going to have to get something going against him as he has gotten himself into quite a nice rhythm. And the first pitch to Colby Ferris is in there for a called strike. So, Justin, what do you think has been the key to your success so far this year? Has there been a particular pitch that has worked well for you? Any piece of advice that the coaches have given you that's really stuck with you? There might not even be just one, but has there been something that you really think has made a big difference for you this year?
So I've been trying to work on my changeup a lot. So there's a lot of lefties in this league, so that's helped me a lot with lefties because that was sort of a weak point coming in to the summer ball. So I wanted to work on that and be able to be a lot more confident on lefties and not just throwing fastballs. So that's not a good game plan when you're facing any hitter. So.
Right.
So yeah, and then I've always had the slider as of late to throw to righty. So that was almost a given for me. But yeah, the changeup's been a big addition, and just getting more comfortable with the off speed and being able to put it anywhere I want in the zone and any count that I'm in. So that's been the big thing for me this summer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if you on a scale from 1 to 10, and this will be your last question I'll ask you and I'll let you go. On a scale from 1 to 10, how comfortable do you think you are with your changeup right now?
My changeup right now, it'll be probably about an 8 right now.
There you go.
Yeah, so there's always growing room, but I'm pretty confident as I'm going through the summer with it. It's just getting better and better, I feel like.
Well, that's certainly great to hear, Justin, and also great to hear from you. I appreciate you coming up in the booth again today. Is there anything you'd like to say to the folks at home before you head out?
I just want to say hi to all my family back home, and I love you guys and miss you guys like always. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin, and maybe we'll get you back in here another time before the season ends, but otherwise, thank you so much for being up here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
the bottom of the fourth inning for the Canadian Pilots, number 3, Grant Weiss.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network as the first pitch of the inning is poked up the middle for a base hit by Grant Weiss. So first pitch swinging and first pitch hitting as he gets on base for the first at bat of the inning. And so that'll bring up Blake Wink, who squares around a bunt, but takes that one for strike one. So runner on first, and nobody out for Blake Wink as he grounded out to third in his first at-bat. And that one is inside. And once again, you see Zach Sundine really wanting to throw Blake Wink in, as maybe the scouting report has showed that he's weak in there. Or at least weaker by comparison, I suppose. And that one is tapped over to Pate Fullerton at third, and he's just going to have to go one. And he has really done a good job on those throws of coming in. Those are not easy, but he gets the out there. So the runner moves up to second. So runner in scoring position for the Pilots here with just one out, and that'll bring up Terrence Seguida, who hit the ball hard last time, but right to Will Batts in center. So he's 0 for 1. And Seguida certainly has liked hitting against the Chinooks, as that one just misses. Not sure where that missed. Maybe downstairs. Can't tell from up here. But he has really done well against the Chinooks. But he's not always in the lineup. So I wonder if that is just a happenstance or if it's just one of those platoon situations that are going to happen no matter how well one guy performs. Not sure how that goes, but either way, Seguida in the lineup today. And the next pitch to him is outside for ball one. And Sun 9's next pitch is well upstairs for ball two. Maybe it's ball three. Actually, it looks like it's 3-1, so I do apologize for that. Again, no scoreboard here, so I do apologize for occasionally losing track of the count. And Sun 9's 3-1 is in there for a called strike two. Good pitch. Looked like it was right on the inside corner. Certainly an important pitch there, as if he left that out over the plate, Seguida might have been able to hit that one into the outfield and get Weiss home. So we will move here to the 3-2 pitch from Sundine. And that one is in there for a called strike three. He comes right back and gets Seguida looking on a beautifully executed fastball. And that will bring up Devin Lopez here with a runner in scoring position and 2 down. But Lopez did single in his last at-bat. So we will see what happens here as Zach Sundine looks to once again get out of a jam.
Yeah, and that was just perfect execution by Sundine. Clearly he's trying to work these batters in, and those two pitches looked almost identical. They were just fastballs in and right on the corner, just perfect spots, back-to-back pitches for the strikeout.
Absolutely, and that fastball in is, especially with 2 strikes, it's one of the toughest pitches to get your bat around on. Because you might be able to time up a fastball, but if they're well inside and on the inside corner, it can really, you really have to be waiting on that pitch to really get your barrel on it. So certainly a great execution from Sundine there. So a little bit cloudy today, although decent temperature. It's been a little bit hotter today than it has been in the last couple of days, so certainly a nice day for baseball, although the press box is a little bit of a conventional oven. But we will be all right, as that one is outside. So the count now moves to 1-2 on Devin Lopez. Sundine, one strike away from once again getting out of this jam. And the 1-2 is broken bat, and it is popped up as Joe Brazil will move back and make the catch for out number 3. So once again, Sundine able to work around a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs. And so we will now move to the top of the 5th, and this one is certainly going by in a breeze so far, as the Chinooks will head to the top of the 5th, locked in a 0-0 ball game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Pate Fullerton will step up to the plate for his second at-bat. He struck out in his first one. And that one is tapped foul. So Nate Diamond has looked every bit as good as Zach Sundine has over the first 4 innings of this ball game, as basically neither offense able to muster up much in terms of base runners against either guy. The Chinooks are still without a hit so far in this one, so certainly Fullerton will look to change that fate as he checks at that one, but it is outside and low for ball 2. Next pitch from Diamond is tapped over to short as Devin Lopez will fire for out number 1. So John Graham will step up here. He also struck out in his last at-bat. So John Graham certainly has struggled over the last few ball games. So I'm sure he'd love to get his bat going right here and get something going for the Chinooks. And that one's upstairs and way outside for ball 1. And that one is swung on and fouled straight back from John Graham. And that one also swung on and fouled straight back, and that did not sound very good. I'm not sure what happened there.
Looks like it's landed on the deck of the press box here.
Yes, it has. It is right there, but it sounded like it maybe hit the window next door, but it doesn't look like the window is broken. As that one is ripped into center field, but unfortunately, Devin Ornelas pretty much didn't have to move at all. So an unfortunate break for John Graham, but good to see him hit a ball hard for sure. But nonetheless, that will be out number 2. And that'll bring up Joe Keel, who grounded out to short in his last at-bat. And the first pitch to Keel is ripped over toward the Chinook dugout as Carson Cody pretty much no-sold that. As that ball just kind of skidded over toward the dugout. And the 0-1 outside and way upstairs for ball 1. We've seen that pitch happen a couple times, as obviously it's probably what happens when Diamond flies open a little bit, doesn't stay closed, but he stayed closed far more often than he has flied open today for sure. And that one's in there for strike 2. Perfectly executed fastball in the inside corner. Started out looking like it was probably going to hit Joe, but then it kind of crossed over the plate. That's what the lefty tail will do for you. And the 1-2 to Keel is swung on and popped high in the air into shallow center field, as Devin Lopez will back up and make the catch for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 go the Chinooks for the 3rd time today. So certainly Nate Diamond has done pretty much everything that the Pilots could have asked for so far through 5. And Zach Sundine's going to have his work cut out for him to match what Nate Diamond has been doing, but he's done it so far, and I hope to continue doing that as we head to the bottom of the 5th in a 0-0 ball game.
Enjoy the Pilots annual beer garden, sponsored by Brown Jug. United and locally owned, the stores are filled with all of your favorite spirits. Brown Jug. Leading off the plate, the Pilots in the bottom of the 5th inning, a great shortstop, number 2, center fielder, Devin Ornelas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network as the first pitch of the at-bat to Devin Ornelas is in there for a strike, and the second one is outside for ball 1. So Zach Sundine has looked really good so far today, as that one's in there for a called strike 2. Pretty much executing every pitch that he has wanted to execute today. And the 1-2 is swung on and missed, and Ornelas goes down on strikes to open up the bottom of the 5th. So that'll bring up Cole Escher, who is 1 for 2 so far. He has 4 hits in the ball game for the Pilots. None have resulted in anything other than just minor inconveniences for Zach Sundine. And that one's inside for ball one. Hi, Mrs. Mullins. I don't know. I put the message out to the group chat last night, and this morning, and this afternoon. Pretty much saying anybody who's not playing, please come on up and do an interview if you guys want to. Nobody has responded, so as far as I know, no. Nobody's coming up other than Jay Estrada earlier. I do apologize. If you would like to hound him to come up here, please do that. But here's how I look at it. I'm not their dad. You know, I'm never going to force anybody to come up and do an interview. It is all optional for them. They never signed up for this stuff. It's just basically for you guys. And I'm not going to push them to do it. It's not my job to push them. As that one is tapped over to Fullerton. Could be a tough play with Escher's speed. And that will be an infield single as Fullerton could not handle that. So that will be an infield single for Cole Escher. It's his second hit of the day. Albeit that one probably was a little bit lucky there. That'll bring up Connor McGuire. So anyways, the short answer, I guess, is I have no idea. But the answer is probably no. So again, that'll bring up Connor McGuire. As McGuire is 1 for 2 so far. He grounded out in his last at-bat as... Oh, man, and they call Zach Sundine for a balk. As Escher was... trying to steal, and they say that Sundine balked, but I don't think I really saw any kind of balk. I guess they're saying that he was going home. And you can hear the both umpires saying that he balked. So certainly whatever they saw, they are in agreement on. So Cole Escher will move over on a balk.
Yeah, it sounded like there was some complaints coming from the Chinooks dugout about that call, but umpires said both him and the other umpire, at the time the second base umpire, both called it at the same time. So I guess that.
Yeah, and certainly it makes, well, not us feel better about it, but it makes the umpires feel better about it when your colleague is in agreement with you on a call. Makes you feel like you're justified in seeing what you saw. So my guess is probably it was a balk, as that one just misses. Tough call there. Looked like that might have gotten the plate, but obviously home plate umpire said it did not, so the count moves to 1-1. And that one is hit over to right field, and that will get way out of play. So the count moves to 1-2 now, as Sundine looks to work around the one-out single and balk. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Sundine, and he has had a few really key strikeouts in this one as Connor McGuire goes down on strikes for the second out, and that'll bring up Ethan Mann.
Yeah, and that was another great pitch from Sundine. He's just doing what he's been doing all day, just pounding the ball inside on the strike zone and just forcing him to get out in front, and they've just been behind on it all day so far.
Absolutely, and Ethan Mann, again, has been one of the better hitters, probably one of the best hitters in the league so far. And that one is ripped into center field, but Will Batts will track it down and make the catch. So once again, Zach Sundine able to work out of a jam, as he has done pretty much all season long. And so we'll head to the top of the sixth with the Pilots and Chinooks still locked in a 0-0 tie.
Shoreside Petroleum for providing propane for our grill. Be sure and visit our concession stand for pilot dogs, hot dogs, and hamburgers. Now at the plate, John Mark Mullins from University of Alabama, Birmingham.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Nate Diamond steps back up to the mound to face John Mark Mullins, who appears to have entered the game as a pinch hitter for Patty McCormick. So, John Mark not getting much of a break today. And that looked like it hit John Mark and then unfortunately hit our home plate umpire, who we have seen get hit a few times this year, unfortunately for him. So John Mark comes into the ball game and immediately gets himself on base. So certainly a good thing for him. And again, not that much of a break for him today. So that'll bring up Will Batts. And that one is just outside as Will Batts. Good take there. And I really, really just love how Will Batts stays in the batter's box every pitch. 99% of the time you see guys, take a step out, adjust their batting gloves, take a couple practice swings, what have you. But Will Batts just stays in there as that one is tapped up the middle as Mullins trying to beat that out, but he could not. But the throw was wild, but I think Will Batts probably would have beat that out anyway. So either way, a fielder's choice for Will Batts. So now runner on first with one out, as that'll bring up Cal Campbell, who has flown out and grounded out today, as he certainly has earned this spot in the lineup over his last few games. Looking to capitalize here, and maybe he'll stay there. So sure, he'd love to come through here against Nate Diamond, who still has not allowed a hit through now 5 1/3 innings.
Absolutely, and even though Cal hasn't gotten a hit yet, he's certainly made strong contact multiple times. So, and he's seeing the ball well, certainly.
Certainly, yep. And obviously Justin Estrada, who was in the booth earlier, mentioned it a little bit about how Cal really feels that he's just relaxed up there, really seeing the ball well. So on this 2-0 count, let's see what Nate Diamond gives him here. And that looked like maybe a changeup or a slider of some sort. It's hard to see spin unless it's really egregious up here. But either way, that's in there for strike one. So certainly a pitcher's duel so far today, as we are locked at 0-0 here, as that one is in there for a called strike. Man. Oftentimes you'll see an umpire not give a catcher that call if he drops it. And he was also standing up, so I'm a little surprised that that was called a strike. But either way it was, so the count moves to 2-2. And that one is ripped into left center field for a base hit, and the no-hitter is gone, as Will Batts will head to third, and the throw in there is not in time. And now Cal Campbell will move up to second base on the throw, and Cal Campbell once again comes through for the Chinooks. My goodness, that man might be the hottest hitter on the planet right now, as he has just performed so well over the last handful of ball games, and a big moment for the Chinooks there. And that'll now bring up Hayden Keller, who has made a habit of 2-out hits so far in his tenure with the Chinooks. And, he'd love another one. And it looks like the infield is in kill. So, going to have to get it over the infielders more likely than not to get a run in. Unless Will Batts just gets an outstanding jump on a pretty slow hit baseball. So we will see how this plays out as Hayden Keller now finds himself down 0-1 in the count. And the 0-1. Swung on and tapped right back to Diamond. Good reaction time from him. As that will be out number 2. So now it is up to Joe Brazil, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far in this one, to bring in the run for the Chinooks. And this is a huge moment for both teams, as obviously in a scoreless tie, any run matters at this point.
Absolutely, and the way Diamond has pitched so far today, just getting ahead of him here would be monumental.
And that one is swung on and tapped right at the feet of Joe Brazil for strike 1. And the 0-1 to Brazil is in there for strike 2. So now Joe Brazil finds himself down 0-2 and looking to battle back in this count and get at least that 1 run home from third. And a huge moment for Nate Diamond if he can get out of this unscathed. And the 0-2. Swung on and hit up the middle, and it's past the diving shortstop for a base hit. Cal Campbell will be waved around, and the ball is kicked in center, and Joe Brazil will head to second. And a 2-out RBI single for Joe Brazil, and the Chinooks will take a huge 2-0 lead here in the top of the 6th. Cannot understate how important that was in a ball game that has been this close all day. Huge at-bat for Joe Brazil, and that had to feel great for him, down 0-2 in the count. An off-speed pitch that looked like it might not have even been a strike. He's able to put it in play and put it in play hard enough to come through. And Colby Ferris will pop that one up high in the air down the first base line. And that will get out of play. And it just seems like every day there is a new hero for the Chinooks, and certainly that's what happens when you are a good team. It just doesn't, you don't rely on one guy. It has to be, every guy has to pull their weight, and certainly that looks like it's going to be Joe Brazil today.
Absolutely, and I think that speaks to just the camaraderie of this team.
And that one is ripped into right field. And I couldn't exactly see what happened there, but it looks like that was caught out there by Cole Escher for out number 3. Anyways, Aaron, go ahead, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just speaks to the camaraderie of this team, and just how like everyone has said in the interviews, they just want each other to win, and even the ones who aren't playing, they're cheering for their teammates out there, and they're just playing as a unit, playing as a team. There's not individuals on this team right now. We're playing as a team.
Certainly could not agree more. And with that, we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning, with the Chinooks now leading the Pilots 2-0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as Nick Hagedorn will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th, as the Pilots will certainly look to climb back in this one, but Zach Sundine will look to continue the great performance that he has had, as that one's tapped over to Pate Fullerton, who has been quite busy tonight, and he'll throw on to first for out number 1. Zach Sundine certainly giving Pate Fullerton all he can handle over there, as he's had 5 or 6 plays so far today, maybe even more. As Grant Weiss will step up to the plate now. He singled in his last at-bat, but also struck out in his first at-bat. So we will see how this one goes, as Sundine's first pitch to him is in the dirt for ball 1. So for those of you who missed it, the Chinooks struck for 2 runs on a big 2-out single by Joe Brazil in the top half of this inning, as otherwise runners would have been stranded. And that one, big swing from Wise as he takes a tumble. And you know a guy swings hard when he falls down on turf in cleats. So certainly he wanted to hit that one a long way, but he didn't get it. So that one's in there for a strike. But anyways, huge at-bat from Joe Brazil to give the Chinooks a 2-0 lead, as that one is also swung on and missed for strike 2. So Weiss now down 1-2 in the count, as Sundine looks to put him away. And good pitch there. Looked like a changeup maybe. Really good contrast with that slider coming into him, and then that pitch, maybe a changeup, maybe a fastball, couldn't exactly tell, running away. Certainly a good job from Weiss to spoil that, and the next one is fouled off down the right field line. So Zach Sundine has pretty much done what we've come to expect him to do at this point. He has pitched very, very well today, and that one just could not catch the outside corner. Good pitch from Sundine, just maybe an inch or 2 off the plate for ball 2. And the 2-2. Swung on and ripped down the left field line, but that'll get foul. Weiss certainly ready for that. Sundine has pitched inside pretty much all day today. So try to go back inside there, and Weiss was ready for it. So we'll see what Sundine gives him here. And that one is tapped down the third base line and foul. So Grant Weiss putting up a pretty good at-bat here. He's fouled off 5 or 6 balls already. So Sundine trying to find the pitch that'll get Weiss out of his hair. And right now, I'd venture to say this is probably the best at-bat of the day for the Pilots. And the 2-2 is just outside, and Sundine wanted that one. So 2 pretty close pitches in this at-bat. The slider from earlier and that one could not get Weiss out. So now the count is full to Grant Weiss. And that off-speed pitch is swung on and also fouled off. Grant Weiss not giving up here, as Zach Sundine pretty much is saying, come on, man. Just let me go. And the next full count pitch, it comes in, and wait a minute. They're checking to see if he went. And he did not go, so that will be a hit by pitch, but quite frankly, that would have been ball 4 anyway, obviously. So that will be scored a hit by pitch, though. So a 1-out hit by pitch, and let me tell you, what an at-bat from Grant Weiss. Certainly an at-bat that his team needed, as Zach Sundine had pretty much cruised through the first handful of innings with a very, very low pitch count. So a long at-bat was really what the Pilots needed. As that one is tapped over to short and past the diving John Mark Mullins for a base hit. So a good at-bat from Weiss, followed up by a base hit from Blake Wink. So now with 2 on and 1 out, that will bring up Terran Segita, who has lined out and struck out in this one. And for those of you who were who did not see the last half inning. That is now John Mark Mullins at short and Cal Campbell at second. So Patty McCormick has left the ball game in favor of John Mark. He did pinch hit in the top half of the sixth. So Mullins got a short break today, but certainly good to see him get a little bit of a rest. And looks like a pinch hitter will come in for Terrence Seguida as Alec Jones, who started behind the plate last night, will pinch hit for Seguida here in the bottom of the sixth. So Alec Jones, obviously a right-handed batter, probably going for the platoon matchup here. And that one is in there for a called strike. So Sundine gets ahead, and you know he'd love to get a ground ball or a possible double play and get themselves out of the inning with just one swing of the bat. As the Chinooks up 2-0 here. Zach Sundine looking to work out of another jam, as he has done pretty much all season, as that one is popped high in the air in foul territory. And Joe Brazil will settle under it and make the catch for out number 2. So a huge out there for Zach Sundine, and he's gotten those exactly when he has needed them. And that will bring up Devin Lopez, who has a chance to come through for his team. He's 1 for 2 so far tonight, as he singled in the second inning and popped out in the fourth inning. So we'll see how Sundine decides to attack him here, as the Chinooks are implementing a kind of a smaller shift, as Campbell moves back to more of a traditional second base spot as time is called.
Yeah, and as we've played these teams a bit more, you'll notice that the infields are beginning to shift a bit more as they pick up the tendencies of these batters here. So.
Absolutely. And that one is in the dirt. Joe Keel with a nice stop. Keep that one from having the runners advance. So count moves to 1-0. And that one is tapped over to Pate Fullerton, who will take it to the bag himself for out number 3. So the Pilots once again come up empty despite having a runner in scoring position, as Zach Sundine once again works out of a jam. And so the Chinooks will head to the top of the 7th inning, still leading 2-0.
Special thanks to Shoreside Petroleum for providing propane for our grills. Be sure to visit the concession stand for pilot dogs, hot dogs, and hamburgers. Pitching for the Pilots, number 34, William St. Marseille from California Baptist.
And we are back here in the top of the 7th inning as Paige Fullerton steps up to the plate for the Chinooks. And we have a new pitcher for the Pilots now, as that is William St. Marseille, number 34, out of Cal Baptist. As the first pitch is just a bit inside, and it looks like it hit off the umpire just a little bit there.
Man, this poor guy just cannot avoid the baseball. I mean, I've seen him hit like 5 or 6 times already this year. And I have not seen any other umpires get hit. It's just been him.
Yeah, but he's absolutely taking it like a champ.
He certainly is.
As that second pitch is in there for a called strike, too. It looks like it caught the inside corner. And that evens the count at 1-1 for St. Marseille. One pitch is high and outside.
Yeah, certainly a surprise, I would say, for even though Diamond did give up 2 runs in the last inning, I'm a little surprised to see them take him out, as he really was pitching well other than that inning, and it basically was down to the last strike where he gave up those runs. So I'm a little surprised they didn't give him at least one more inning, but obviously every coach has a little bit different of a mindset as it pertains to that, so we'll see if it works out for them.
Absolutely. So the 3-1 pitch now from Marseille. And Fullerton taps it down the first base line. A little dribbler, but it rolls foul. So the count now moves full for Fullerton here, as he looks to build off of the momentum that the Chinooks built last inning and see if they can extend this lead here for the Chinooks.
And that one's tapped foul. But Fullerton, certainly he played a lot more than he has recently in the beginning of the year. And one thing I never got to ask him was if that kind of weighs on him at all, or if that's changed how he's kind of approached every game. Certainly can get frustrating when you're playing every day and then suddenly you're not.
And that 3-2 pitch misses outside for ball 4, so Fullerton with the leadoff walk. And that's exactly what you need to continue this momentum as Johnny Graham steps up to the plate now.
Certainly, and I think what's the stat? Leadoff walks score 68% of the time or something like that.
It's something like that.
It's pretty significant, and not saying that the Chinooks are guaranteed to score or anything, but it is very, very significant when you have a leadoff walk in an inning and a good at bat from Fullerton there, and especially against a new reliever, being able to work the count, being able to allow your team to see what he has on that given day. So certainly a great at-bat from Fullerton there.
Absolutely. So on the bunt attempt, Johnny Graham fouls it off, so the count moves to 0-1 here. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. So Johnny Graham is down 0-2 here, as Fullerton takes his lead at first. And Fullerton takes off. Johnny Graham slaps that one down the first base line, but it sails foul into the stands over there.
Yeah, certainly nobody has discounted Johnny Graham's power, but right now I think his main issue at the plate has just been putting the ball in play, as he has just not been able to do that recently.
Another one foul back for Johnny Graham as he's able to stay alive, and the count remains at 0-2.
I'll tell you what, his swing looks a lot better tonight, though, for sure, than it has recently. Obviously, we talked about earlier how he went 0 for 6 a couple days ago. And, man, you just have those moments as hitters where you just feel like nothing's going right for you, but he looks like he's looking a little better today.
Absolutely, and Fullerton takes off again. The pitch is outside, and the throwdown is high, so Fullerton has stolen second.
Yeah, so another stolen base there for the Chinooks. I do believe that's their second of the day. And on both of those, Weiss's throw has not been very good. So you want to say that might be something to focus on should the Chinooks continue to get guys on base. Obviously, they haven't had a lot of guys on base today so far, other than last inning, but certainly I would hope that the Chinooks are taking note of that and will continue to run.
So 1-2, swung on and missed. So Johnny Graham goes down for the first out of the inning, but not before Pate Fullerton moves over to second. So with one out and a runner in scoring position, Joe Keel will step up to the plate now.
Yeah, and honestly, at that's just a great pitch from St. Marseille. It looked like a curveball or a slider just dipping away from John Graham. Close enough that it could have been called a strike, but probably wasn't a strike, but it looked like it was going to be a strike for most of that pitch. So just a great pitch from St. Marseille. You just tip your cap to him.
And a swing and a miss there for Joe Keel on the first pitch. So he's down 0-1. Joe Keel's another guy who's struggled just a little bit. He always seems to make good contact, but he's struggled to find holes recently. So that one's fouled off towards the Chinooks dugout.
And certainly for a guy who is as has such a great personality like Joe Keel, you want the best for him. He's such a nice guy. He's always willing to give it to you straight, and just absolutely loves the game of baseball. You want him to succeed, so hopefully he'll be able to get a hold of something here quick, turn himself around, as he has, as you said, Aaron, struggled a little bit the last couple of games.
So that one is fouled down, and Coach Groth is able to make the play down the third base line, and he flips it over to the dugout.
Who ironically could not make the play. So that's unfortunate.
So Joe Keel is down 0-2 here, but he's battling. As Marseille comes set and fires the 0-2. It's low and outside. So Joe with a good eye there as the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, and certainly at this point, Joe just wants to put one on the right side. And not a lot of guys better to do that, as Joe really likes to hit the ball to the right side.
Absolutely. And with the second baseman covering second, there's a big gap over there.
Cool.
As that one is swung on and missed, and that was a great off-speed pitch by Marseille. It looked like a slider there on the outside corner. And that's one of the hardest pitches to hit in baseball.
Absolutely. A slider away to a righty is absolutely one of the most dangerous pitches that a guy can have, and two really good ones in this inning for two strikeouts for St. Marseille. And once again, Joe Keel, you just tip your cap to St. Marseille. Great pitch there.
Absolutely. So that brings up John Mark Mullins. That one is grounded up the middle. Shortstop is there to make the play. And so after the leadoff walk, St. Marseille is able to work around it and hold the Chinooks here. So the score remains 2-0 as we head into the bottom of the seventh inning.
Proud sponsor of that seventh inning stretch is Rebound Physical Therapy. Players will be helped through their injuries by Rebound Physical Therapy. They are our official PT resource.
And we are back in the bottom of the 7th inning as Ornelas steps up and squares the bunt, but he fouls it off behind the catcher. So that will be strike one. The center fielder, Devin Ornelas, is now up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out. So Sundyne has certainly gotten the best of him this far. So that one is fouled off over the Chinooks dugout for strike two.
Yeah, and I think I think Sundyne's pretty much gotten the best of just about everybody in the Pilots lineup, with the exception of maybe a couple guys. Certainly, when you throw 6 shutout, there's not a lot of offense going on. So Sundyne certainly has done his part today.
Absolutely. Through 6 innings, he has 5 strikeouts and only allowed 6 hits and no runs. And a big swing and a miss there. Strikeout for Sundyne. Make that 6 Ks on the night.
And let me tell you guys, obviously I hit a little bit in college, was a pretty prime hitter in high school. When you've got a guy who's going to swing at a ball at his eyes, I mean, you're just looking for something else completely. You're not at all looking for a fastball up at your eyes. So clearly Ornelas was thinking off speed there and just was with a panic swing there. Great pitch selection from Sundyne.
Absolutely. So now steps up the right fielder, number 16, Cole Escher. As that one is foul tipped into the catcher's glove, and the count moves to 0-2.
Yeah, 2 off-speed pitches to start out this one for Escher. And he's 2 for 3 on the night, but Sundyne really does not care at this point, as he has not made him look good on those 2 swings.
As that one misses just a bit downstairs. So the count moves to 1-2 here on Escher. And a 1-2 pitch. That one is high. So the count moves even to 2-2. As Sundyne works quickly here. So that one's grounded over to Mullins.
It's going to be
Fires
a tough
over to
play.
first.
Oh, my.
And, he just missed it. That's a tough play from Mullins, and he almost had him, but just a step too late as Escher beats it out for an infield single and his 3rd hit of the day.
Yeah, 3 hits on the day for Cole Escher. That is certainly going to stand out in the stat sheet after this one, as pretty much other than him, the Pilots have not gotten much going. Now, granted, those 3 hits, 2 of them have kind of been just like that, 2 infield singles. But at the same time, at this point, you'll take whatever you can get if you're the Pilots.
Absolutely. So that one is fouled off, and as Connor McGuire steps up to the plate here. So Sundyne will certainly look to get a ground ball here and get out of this inning with the runner on first base. The 0-1 is outside, and it looks like they were doing a pitch out there, maybe expecting Escher to take off.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Escher has made a habit of moving on the first few pitches of an at-bat when he's on first. So not a bad call there, just obviously didn't end up working out.
Absolutely. So the 1-1 is down, and a good block by Joe Keel as the count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, and certainly you can see Zach Sundyne's eyes kind of moving all over the place, kind of trying to pay attention to Escher, kind of going back to home plate over and over again, possibly not really being able to focus on one thing, and I'm not sure what's happening here.
Well, it looks like that ball might have hit Joe Keel somewhere. I'm not sure where exactly, but the trainer and pitching coach Troy Hervey are out there talking to him. It looks like he's not hurt too bad, but just needs a breather maybe and walk it off. As Coach Beck brings out a glass of water for Joe.
Yeah. Could be a cramp as well. Not sure. Obviously, that ball was in the dirt, and it could have very well hit Joe Keel somewhere, but Could also just be cramping. He has, a lot of games in a row. Obviously, Joe hasn't caught all of them. But it is a little bit hotter today than it has been the last few days, so you just never know. Oh, it looks like they're checking his neck, so maybe that ball did hit him in the neck somewhere, which, man, that is not a fun place to get hit with a ball for sure as a catcher. That's why they make those chin strap things that kind of hang down.
But it looks like he's good to go, and so they're going to do a few warm-up pitches here just to make sure he's feeling all right. Sundyne fires him in there. And he nods his head to the umpire and says he's good to go. So McGuire will step back up to the plate.
And I do believe the count is 2-1. Hey, look at that. I remembered. So I just kind of was sitting here thinking, oh, man, I hope I remember what the count is. It's been more than 12 seconds.
I was thinking the same thing. As Sundyne fires over to first base just to keep him honest over there. So the 2-1 pitch as Sundyne comes set. And fires. It's grounded up the middle right to Mullins. Flips to Campbell, and over to Brazil for the double play. And Zach Sundyne is able to work out of another opportunity from the Pilots. And he has just done that all day where he's able to work out innings here. And we'll see if he comes back out for the 8th, but look for the Chinooks offense to build off this and extend their lead in the top of the 8th here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network as the first pitch to Will Batts is in there for a called strike one. So Andrew Killo will step up to the mound for the Pilots and look to get the Pilots another chance to come back in this one. So we enter the top of the 8th. So the Chinooks would love to get some more insurance runs here so that they will not have to put so much strain on their bullpen, as that one is tapped over to Connor McGuire at third base, and he'll throw on to first for out number 1. So Will Batts 0 for 4 tonight. not having the best day out of the leadoff spot, but that'll bring up Cal Campbell, who had a single that really sparked the last inning for the Chinooks. Or excuse me, the sixth inning, not the last inning, I apologize. Where they scored their runs. Was able to come through and end the no-hitter at the time being thrown by Nate Diamond, and obviously the Chinooks were able to capitalize, and clearly a huge point in this ball game as Campbell did not like that call. But either way, Andrew Killo, who we saw yesterday, pitched very well, obviously earning this spot again today, and just kind of funny thing that I kind of noticed in the scorebook, number 33, Nate Diamond, started the game, and then number 34, William St. Marseille, came in to relieve, and now number 35, Andrew Killo will start, or will pitch this inning. So they're kind of going in order here. So we'll see if number 36 will enter the game for...
And I don't believe they have a 36 on their roster.
Come on, you're blowing it.
So I guess that means Killo will have to pitch the rest of the game.
I guess so, absolutely. But Cal Campbell draws a walk there, so Campbell once again getting on base, as he has just done so well the last few games. So happy for him. And that will bring up Hayden Keller, who grounded back out to the pitcher in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 3. He's actually grounded out to the pitcher twice today. As that one is slapped down the left field line and foul. So certainly a awesome pitcher's duel today, and it has been a little bit since we have seen a pitcher's duel as the last few games, as Campbell takes off. What a jump from Cal Campbell. Read that all the way, and that will be a wild pitch there. So now Hayden Keller with a runner in scoring position. Now with a chance with just one out here in the 8th inning for the Chinooks to build upon their 2-0 lead. And that one is way outside. Great job from Weiss to go after that.
Now this is a good hitter's count for Keller here. 2-1.
And the 2-1 is ripped over to Blake Wink at second, who gathers and fires over to first. Good stretch from Mann. And that will be out number 2, but at the very least, a productive out, as that moves the runner up 90 feet. So now Campbell 90 feet away from scoring, and the guy who knocked him in his last at-bat, Joe Brazil, will step up to the plate looking to do that again for the Chinooks. And he did it with 2 outs in his last at-bat, so I'm sure he'd love to do it again. As the first pitch to him is swung on and drilled into the left center gap. Joe Brazil comes through again, and this time he's going to have extra bases as he turns and coasts into second base with a 2-out double. And Joe Brazil once again coming through for the Chinooks. And now they will lead 3-0. What a game for Joe Brazil. 3 RBIs. And he has been almost the entire offense so far for the Chinooks. What a game. And that will bring up Colby Ferris. And the Chinooks are not done, as still have a chance to add more runs onto this lead. And I wonder what in the world Coach Groth is doing. And they're pinch running for Joe Brazil here. And listen, I know you want a guy who's got a little bit more wheels on second, but I'm not sure if Joe Brazil's the guy to take out at this point, as he is 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. But all right, we'll see if that works out for the Chinooks. So Justin Nevels will come into the game to pinch run for Joe Brazil, as Colby Ferris now will step up and look to continue the momentum here in this inning, as the Chinooks have already struck for 1, and the first pitch to him is upstairs for ball 1. one is tap foul behind home plate. So the count now moves even to 1-1 as Andrew Killo wants to get out of this inning, and Colby Ferris wants to do anything but get out of this inning. And the 1-1. Swung on and popped high in the air in foul territory, but that'll get out of play. So the count moves to 1-2. So Colby Ferris is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, but he lined out pretty hard to right field in his last at-bat. So Colby not without seeing the ball pretty well tonight. So Colby would love to repeat that swing, but hopefully have a different result on it this time. And the 1-2 is tapped foul as Colby Ferris stays alive.
Yeah, great job there from Ferris to stay alive, and that's really just what we've seen from the Chinooks all night, just able to battle in these at-bats, and they haven't gotten a lot of hits, but they've gotten them when they need them.
And that one is also tapped. Oh, man, and that looked like that hit Weiss in a place where that's not fun. And Weiss is still on the ground. Couldn't exactly tell where that hit him, but looked like it hit him somewhere in the lower extremity.
Yeah, it looks like it might have gotten him in the thigh. Somewhere in the leg. He's walking it off, and their trainer comes out. But he says, let's go.
There you go. So Weiss will just walk it off a little bit, and we'll have a little bit of a meeting here to shake off the injury and maybe just reset, try and put Colby Ferris away. And for Colby, this happened to him last night. Kind of a long pause in between pitches during his at-bat, and he ended up doubling on the very next pitch when the pause was over. So certainly he's seen this movie before. And so at this point, maybe he knows how it ends. Or maybe there'll be a twist at the end. Or maybe he'll just fall asleep halfway through. Who knows? We'll have to find out. This metaphor has gone a little off the rails. I apologize for that. So now Ferris sits in the box with a 1-2 count and a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. And that one is also tapped foul, this time off the leg of Ferris. So Ferris just doing his best to stay alive, as Aaron mentioned earlier. And the count remains at 1-2. And that one swung on and fouled off of Grant Weiss. Could not hang on. So Ferris stays alive. And what is that, 5 or 6 foul balls in a row for Colby Ferris as he refuses to give in here. And neither does Killo as he continues to throw strikes. And that one is ripped into left field for a base hit. What an at-bat from Colby Ferris as Justin Nevels will come around to score. Ferris heads to second and the ball gets away and down the right field line. Colby Ferris will chug and head for third and he will stop there. Big 2-out single for Colby Ferris as what an at-bat from him as he comes through with 2 outs. And the Chinooks lead is now 4-0. And certainly a big gamble from Colby Ferris to go to second. And if that throw was on the money, I venture to say he would have been out by quite a bit as that one is hit out into left field. As I believe that is Ethan Mann out there in left, or maybe not. Actually, it does not look like Ethan Mann at all. So I'll let you know who that is here in a minute. Oh, it's Alec Jones. So Alec Jones is out there in left. So the Chinooks strike for 2 more here in the top of the 8th, and so we'll head to the bottom half of this inning with the Chinooks leading 4-0.
Leading off for the Pilots, the spot in the 8th inning, number 5, left fielder, Ethan Mann.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Ethan Mann rips that one, and a nice play from Pate Fullerton to get in front of that as Ethan Mann is retired for the second out of the inning. So the first out of the inning, as Ethan Mann is 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. So Zach Sundine done a really good job of keeping the 3-4 guys off base as best he can, as they are now combined 0 for 6. But Hagedorn will look to change that here, as that one's in there for a called strike. So Zach Sundine still out there, obviously, after throwing 7 shutout innings so far, as he looks to finally get a 1-2-3 inning. And despite throwing 7 shutout, he has not had a 1-2-3 inning so far, as that one is tapped down the left field line, and that's going to land foul. His last inning, he did face only 3 batters, but he gave up a single to Cole Escher and then got a double play. So that technically does not count as a 1-2-3 inning. And for those keeping tabs on the scores for the other teams in the league, as that one is ripped over to Cal Campbell, who takes that off his chest and throws on to first for out number 2. And anyway, for those of you who are keeping tabs on the other scores in the league, the Miners currently lead the Bucks 4-2 in the top of the 8th. So the Miners still obviously playing quite well. I'm not sure what the result was of the other night, as they had a doubleheader. So I'll get that here in a minute, as that one is swung on and missed. So Zach Sundine has certainly pitched very, very well tonight, and pretty much has given the Chinooks all they could ask for. As the 0-1 is popped high in the air out to center field, and Will Batts will jog in and make the catch. And finally, 8 innings into his outing, Zach Sundine has a 1-2-3 inning. So congratulations, Zach. That you might be the first person to throw a shutout through 8 innings and only have his first 1-2-3 inning be right now. So congratulations, Zach. And with that, the Chinooks will head to the top of the 9th inning, nursing a 4-0 lead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as John Graham will step up to the plate here. And actually, I'm a little bit confused as... Never mind. I know what's going on here. I just forgot to mark that Pate got out. So John Graham will lead off. I am just a little bit not in it today as that one is ripped out to center field. But unfortunately, again, right to Alec Jones for John Graham. So his bad luck, unfortunately, continues as he flies out to open up the top of the ninth against Hayden Walker, who has pitched a few times against the Chinooks with pretty good success. And so Joe Keel will step up here as that one gets away from Grant Wise, but nobody on base, so it doesn't really matter. That's just ball one. So the next time the Chinooks will play will be tomorrow night. We will be playing at 7 p.m. Right back here at Mulcahy Stadium against the Anchorage Bucks this time, however. So a big game for both teams, as both teams are pretty close in terms of trying to battle for second place, as pretty much the three teams of the Bucks, Pilots, and Chinooks have been for the last couple of weeks. Right now, the Bucks are a little bit behind, as they are currently 2 games back, but still close. So certainly they would love to get a key victory against the Chinooks. And that one is ripped up the middle for... Oh, and it's off the glove of Blake Wink. I was just going to say it's up the middle for a base hit. I didn't think Wink would get there, but a good effort from him. But nonetheless, that will be a 1-out single for Joe Keel, and that's his first hit of the ball game. So anyways, the Chinooks will play tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So back a little bit to our normal schedule against the Anchorage Bucks here at Mulcahy Stadium. So make sure you tune in for that one. As first pitch to John Mark is popped high in the air in foul territory. And Ethan Mann, who is at first base now, will settle under it to make the catch for out number 2. So that'll bring up Will Batts, who is 0 for 4 so far tonight, though he did score a run in the 5th as he reached, or excuse me, in the 6th as he reached on a fielder's choice. And that one is in there for a called strike 1. So Hayden Walker looking to keep the lead right where it is so that the Pilots have a better chance in the bottom of the 9th to make a comeback. And the 0-1 to Will Batts is tapped up the middle. Blake Wink will gather that and shuffle it on to Devin Lopez at short for out number 3. So the Chinooks come up empty here in the top of the 9th, but they sit with a reasonably comfortable, anyways, 4-0 lead as they look to close things out against the Pilots in the bottom of the 9th.
Leading off for the Pilots, bottom of the ninth inning, number 4, second baseman, Blake Wing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as I have not been this excited for a bottom of the ninth in quite a while, as Zach Sundine has a chance to do something that very few guys get their chance to do, as he is in good position for an amazing milestone. So I will not say anything about it other than that. So Zach Sundine, right now, apparently his pitch count is 1, so that's great. According to the thing, so we're gonna have to manually count it. Looks like his pitch count sits right now at 115 after that last pitch. So Zach Sundine certainly up there in pitches, but he looks to finish this one, and he's gonna have to get through Blake Wink first, as that one is tapped over to Cal Campbell at second base, and he'll fire on to first for out number 1. So 1 second great. I'm going to try that again. Take 2. 1 second baseman grounds out to the other. Sorry, it has been a very long few days. So that will be out number 1. And now Alec Jones will step up to the plate, and he took over for Terran Segita in the 6th inning. So he will look to get something going against Zach Sundine. And that pitch is just downstairs. So Sundine has had his fair share of traffic on the base paths today, but he has been able to work out of it every time, as that one is in there for strike 2. Right now, no base runners to speak of, and Alec Jones looking to change that fact as he's down 1-2, and he does, as that one is ripped into left field for a base hit. So Sundine giving up a single, and nice 2-strike swing there from Alec Jones, as he's on board with a single, and that will bring up Devin Ornelas, who right now is 0 for 3 with a couple of, Devin Lopez, I apologize, who is 1 for 3 in this one. So interested to see if Alec Jones will be on the move. And the first pitch to Lopez is upstairs for ball 1. So Sundine would love to get a ground ball here again, as ground balls have really been his friend tonight, as he's gotten a lot of ground outs tonight, specifically to third and second. That has been his favorite spots so far tonight, as the vast majority of his ground outs have gone to those 2 spots. And that one is tapped over to the 5-6 hole, as that gets by for a base hit. So an unfortunate situation for Sundine, as that was the ground ball he was looking for, but that one just had eyes. And that will bring out pitching coach Troy Hervey. And, Sundine does not want to give the ball up, but he might have to here, as he is well over 120 pitches now. And we will see what happens here, as this will bring up the number 9 hole hitter, Devin Ornelas, who has not looked good against Sundine tonight. So maybe they will let Sundine at least pitch to Ornelas and then go from there, as they go over a little bit of strategy, and they're going to leave him in. So obviously Sundine wanting to finish this one, and all of us here at Chinooks Nation wanting him to finish this one. Certainly a huge moment for him and for the Chinooks. And the good thing is that the lead is currently 4-0, so there is a little bit of cushion for Sundine and for the bullpen. So right now he could just worry about throwing strikes, trying to get weak contact instead of trying to be too fine in a closer game. But that will bring up Tom Tebeck, who will pinch hit now for Devin Ornelas. So Tom Tebeck is one of the best hitters in the league so far this year, so certainly going to be a tough task for Sundine here after throwing so many pitches. And that first pitch is outside for ball 1. So Tom Tebeck, really good speed, decent power. So certainly a guy that's going to be tough to turn 2 for. And And the 1-0 is check swung, and he will look over, and he did not go. So now the count is 2-0, so a great hitter's count for Tebek, as I'm sure he's going to look for one to drive here. And Sundine takes a peek at second and fires his 2-0 pitch in there, and that is swung on and fouled off. Looked like that was a little bit off the plate, so certainly Tebek just wanting to really drive one there. So the count is now 2-1. And certainly a huge at-bat for the Chinooks and for the Pilots here, as this at-bat could really shift momentum in either direction, as that one is tapped over to John Mark Mullins. Can they turn two? On to Campbell, and he fires it, and Josh Scheck does a great job of jumping and keeping that one from getting away. So they cannot turn two. I'm not sure if Tebek would have made it anyway. It was going to be very close, and oh no. They're going to take Zach Sundine out, 1 out away from a shutout. And they're going to take Zach Sundine out, 1 out away from a shutout. And unfortunate for Zach Sundine, as I know he wanted to finish this one, but an unbelievable game from him, as Josh Harrell will come in. And certainly everybody needs to give him a standing ovation here, as he has earned every bit of what he has gotten today. And unfortunately is not going to get a chance to finish the shutout. 8 2/3 shutout innings for Zach Sundine. And it is up to Josh Harrell to make that remain. And we will be right back here on the Chinooks Radio Network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so Cole Escher will step up to the plate against Josh Harrell, who will look to get the final out of the ball game here and finish off a great performance by Zach Sundine, as the first pitch is fouled off back behind home plate. So the count moves to 0-1. Zach Sundine threw well over 125 pitches in this one. 8 2/3 shutout innings. Not going to get the chance to finish it off, but Josh Harrell will look to finish it off for him. But either way, I'm sure the Chinooks would just love a victory here. So the count sits at 0-1. And that one is popped high in the air, but that'll also get out of play behind home plate. So good job from Harrell to get ahead quickly, 0-2 here in a big spot like this. And man, I know that there's, everything's like high pitch count and runners on base, but as a former pitcher myself, I want that last out no matter what in that situation. But certainly a fantastic performance, as looks like Michael McNamara has come in to pinch run for Tom Tebek there. Kind of an interesting move, as I know Tebek has pretty good speed. But either way, Michael McNamara gets to second base on fielder's indifference, And that one's not strike 3 to end the ball game. And Joe Keel immediately running out to talk to talk to Josh Harrell. And I wonder what in the world he just said to him. But all right, that was a very quick meeting. So the count now moves to 1-2, or 1-2, I believe. And Harrell looking for the last out of the ball game here. And that one's tapped down the third base line. And that'll get foul. So Harrell once again looking for the last out of the game here against Cole Escher. And that pitch is going to hit him. So not the end of the world for sure, but certainly not what you want with 2 strikes. As that hits Cole Escher, so he gets on base for the 4th time tonight. And that will load the bases for Connor McGuire, who is 1 for 4. He grounded out in his second at-bat, struck out in his third, and grounded into a double play in his 4th. So Josh Harrell looking to finish off this ball game and, at best case scenario, finish off the shutout that Zach Sundine had been throwing, and that one is tapped right over toward our press box. I'm sure you all heard the bang of that ball hitting the press box. And the right side, over to our right, those guys have gotten abused over there tonight, as a few foul balls have gone over there. So Harrell up 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch is downstairs for ball 1. So the count moves to an even 1-1. And the 1-1 is also downstairs. So Harrell, after getting ahead, has now fallen behind 2-1 here. And a walk is about the last thing you want here, as that would bring the go-ahead run to the plate. And that go-ahead run would be Ethan Mann. So certainly we do not want it to get to that point. And the 2-1 swung on and popped high in the air in foul territory, perhaps playable for Sheck, but it will get into the seats. So that will be strike 2. So the count moves to 2-2 there. So count now to 2-2, and a big pressure moment for both sides. But I'd say more so for the Pilots, as they are down to their last strike once again here, with bases loaded and 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th. And the 2-2 from Harrell. Tapped foul, and a good at-bat so far from McGuire, as these Pilots are certainly not quitting. And Harrell sets. Takes a peek at the runners. The 2-2 swung on and hit out to Colby Ferris in right field, and that will do it as Josh Harrell finishes the shutout for Zach Sundine. And I hope that every single person in that dugout gives Zach Sundine a hug, and I certainly will do that when I get out of here. As Zach Sundine, 8 2/3 shutout innings for the Chinooks. What an unbelievable performance by him. And I do apologize to those of you at home. You know, as a pitcher myself, I put myself in the shoes of these guys out on the mound, and I know that I would have wanted that shutout. So forgive me for being a little bit emotional at that time. That probably was a little bit unprofessional. I do apologize for that. But do understand that that is the reason why that happened. But anyways, no matter, the Chinooks come out again on top here. 5 straight victories for the Chinooks. Aaron, what a stretch that the Chinooks have been on so far.
Yeah, they're just on fire right now. You know, as it goes in baseball sometimes, when you've got it going for you, you just can't do anything wrong, you know. And so it's another good team win by the Chinooks tonight, and Chinooks are hot, baby.
Absolutely, the Chinooks
are
are hot, baby. And another big story tonight, Joe Brazil coming in and absolutely coming through clutch for the Chinooks. 3 RBIs in big spots tonight, so great job from him. But again, story of the night, Zach Sundine, 8 2/3 shutout innings, and Josh Harrell able to come in and get the last out for him and finish off the shutout as the Chinooks now move to sole possession of second place in the ABL. So absolutely great performance by them. Unfortunately, I do not believe they've gained any ground. Gained any ground on the minors, as I do believe that they are winning right now in their game against the Bucks. So we will keep tabs on that. But for right now, once again, the Chinooks, next time they will be playing is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right here at Mulcahy Stadium. So certainly tune in for that one. And then there's going to be a big Kenai trip. So 5 straight games against the Oilers. So make sure you look forward to that. But so far, the Chinooks, 5 straight wins. Certainly have played great baseball over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. They have just looked so much different than what they did when they were on that losing streak not too long ago. An absolutely phenomenal team win tonight, as Aaron mentioned. Could not have been happier to call this one. So from all of us here to all of you at home, I am Tyler Lopes. I have been joined tonight by my partner, Aaron Davis. We will see you tomorrow night. And just thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you very, very soon.